Lioness drops you into a world where Joe and her team bounce between home-based prep, fast hit-and-grab missions, and ugly surprises overseas. And the guns are doing a lot of quiet storytelling while all that's happening. Season 1 keeps circling back to the same handful of platforms in different hands, from a sidearm getting checked on a table to short-barreled rifles getting pulled for specific jobs. So what do those specific gun picks say about how this team expects to survive? Bobby runs an Agency Arms Glock 19 during episode 2, and you catch it up close while she's breaking it down on the table. It's still a Glock 19 at heart, a compact, striker-fired 9x19mm that's famous for feeding from 15-round magazines and living through abuse without getting picky. The Gen 5 cues matter here too, like the ambidextrous slide stop and the updated barrel profile, because that points to a newer duty-era baseline. Agency Arms is the custom layer on top, and you see the telltales in the setup. The slide is cut to carry a mini red dot, and there's a full-size weapon light on the rail, turning a plain carry gun into a very always-ready package. From there, at a team member's home, something even smaller comes out of the kit. And the key detail is how it stays optics ready without turning into a chunky brick. Joe goes to a Sauer P365X, grabbing it like it's the default answer when she needs something small but not weak. The P365 family hit the scene in 2018 and basically rewrote the micro-compact category by using a staggered magazine design that packs more 9mm rounds into a grip that still looks like 9mm rounds. It belongs in the tiny pistol class. It's striker-fired, built around a stainless chassis inside the frame, and it's designed to carry like a subcompact while behaving closer to a service pistol than you'd expect. The X variant is the clue on screen. It's the longer grip, optics-ready flavor that's meant to run a reflex sight without needing a big, tall slide. That leads into the kind of moment where the pistols stop being the main event, and at the vehicle intercept chaos, a short 5.56 carbine shows up that's known for hard-use parts and a reputation for staying tight. Tucker leans on a Knight's Armament SR-16 CQB early in the season, and you see the whole team with them during the intercept-style work in Episode 3, Bruised Like a Fist. The SR-16 lives in that high-end AR family tree, chambered in 5.56 by 45mm NATO, and built around the same general manual of arms as an M4. But Knight's Armament is known for refined internals and a focus on durability where it counts. CQB is the whole point. A shorter barrel package meant to move fast around vehicles and tight spaces, while still taking standard STANAG magazines, usually 30-rounders. The big calling card is Knight's Armament's E3 bolt design, which changes the geometry of the locking lugs compared to a basic AR bolt, and has a reputation for long service life. And the lower is typically fully ambidextrous, so it's built for left or right-handed use without awkward workarounds. From there, another rifle shows up that packs down in a way a normal AR can't. And the standout detail is the folded profile made possible by a different recoil layout. Cruz brings out a Sauer MCX Virtus in the 5th episode. Truth is the shrewdest lie, setting it up in San Antonio preparing for the raid. The MCX Virtus is SIG's modular, short-stroke piston rifle line. And that piston system is a big identity marker, because it separates the MCX from the classic direct impingement AR pattern. In Season 1, it's shown as the short-barreled configuration, with an 11.5-inch barrel in 5.56. And the whole platform is built around the idea that it can run hard in short form without feeling like a fragile science project. The other signature trait is the captured recoil system that doesn't need a traditional buffer tube, which is why you can have a stock that folds and still have a functional rifle. Right after this, another rifle shows up that looks like the next step in the same family. And the promise is, it's lighter while keeping that same piston heart. Joe and the team shift to the SIG MCX-Spear LT, and you see suppressed versions coming out when they're moving as a full TAC element. The Spear LT is basically SIG taking the MCX concept and trimming it into a more streamlined, do-everything package, still riding a short-stroke piston system and still living in the 5.56 space in the show's configuration. LT is the giveaway in the name. It's the lighter direction, with the handguard and overall balance pushed towards something you can keep up longer without it feeling like a front-heavy club. You're also seeing a modern suppressor-first mindset baked into the pick, because this rifle is constantly presented as living with a can on the muzzle and still being manageable. Once they move past that case and can phase, the finale brings out a different short rifle entirely. The next clue is a 10.4-inch barrel and a very specific German-made lineage. Joe's team comes up on Heckler & Koch HK416D rifles in the final episode gunfight, specifically the 10-inch variant, and the short barrel is the first thing that jumps out, even before the accessories do. The 416 is a 5.56 by 45mm NATO carbine that looks AR-shaped, but runs a short-stroke piston system. And that design choice is a big part of why the rifle got a following with units that care about consistency and reliability, especially when guns live suppressed or get run hard. D10RS is the compact 10.4-inch setup, which is the kind of length that's built for tight movement and fast handling, not long sightlines. On screen, they're dressed like purpose tools, suppressors, IR lasers, and a grip setup that screams work in low light, plus the original HK-style stocks that instantly separate them from a sea of generic AR furniture. After all that short rifle urgency, the next shift is a heavier lane, and at the Syria fight context, something bigger shows up with a bipod and glass that's meant to live at distance. Bobby shoulders a Heckler & Koch G28 in the pilot episode Sacrificial Soldiers, using it as her primary long gun in Syria. And it's the one rifle in this list that clearly lives in the 7.62 world. The G28 is essentially HK's designated marksman rifle, built off the 7.62 NATO HK417 lineage, meaning you're looking at a semi-auto, piston-driven platform designed to hit harder than 5.56 and carry that energy farther. It's a big rifle by comparison, commonly fed by 20-round detachable magazines, and it's known for being set up like a precision tool rather than a lightweight patrol carbine. And once that G28 moment lands, it basically sums up the whole season's gun logic in one beat. Because everything else on the team is just a smaller, faster version of the same see fast, hit clean idea you're about to hear spelled out. Joe's SIG Sauer P365X ends up being the cleanest why behind Season 1's gun logic, because it mirrors what the long guns are doing in miniature. Compact, modern, and built around fast sighting. You've got Bobby's Agency Arms Glock 19 getting treated like a daily wear workhorse. You've got the SR16 and the MCX variants living in that short, suppressed 5.56 lane for close, messy problems. And then, you've got the G28 showing up, when the situation demands real 7.62 reach and better identification through a variable optic. Put together, the answer is simple. The first season keeps picking guns that stay relatively small, stay quiet, and stay sighted up, with one heavier rifle reserved for when close and fast isn't enough. The takeaway is that Lioness builds its whole firearm mix around compactness plus modern optics, not sheer firepower.